Cats can be playful, curious, affectionate, aloof. They always keep you guessing, but one thing's for sure. Anyone who's married to a cat owner knows you'll always come second to her feline companion. Unless she has 2 cats, then you'll always come third. And if she happens to have 42, well, 43rd place isn't so bad. This piece is called My Wife's Lovers by Carl Kahler, the greatest cat painting ever made, in spirit and in size. Created in 1891, it's 6 feet tall, 8 feet wide, weighs 227 pounds, and features 42 cats. But who would commission such an extraordinary work of art? None other than San Francisco millionaire, philanthropist, and leading cat lady of her time, Kate Birdsall Johnson. Trying to find a proper portrait of Kate basically felt impossible. I could only find this picture with her and her husband, but her kitties' faces will live on forever, which I think tells you everything you need to know about Kate Birdsall Johnson's priorities. It's the late 1800s in Paris, France. Kate Birdsall Johnson is on holiday when she meets a striking gentleman named Sultan. He's charming with bright blue eyes and salt and pepper hair. It's love at first sight, and she has to have him. She's already married to a wealthy businessman, but she has a feeling he won't mind. After all, what's one more cat when she already has dozens? But when she offers to buy Sultan, his owner tells her that he isn't for sale. But Kate is a seasoned art collector. She knows everything's for sale for the right price. So she presses him, and eventually the owner throws out a number and Kate doubles it. And just like that, Sultan is hers for $3,000, which is over $100,000 in today's money. A small fortune, but clearly worth every penny, because here he is, that prized kitty, sitting pretty in his California castle, the center and the star of the painting. A white cat with icy blue eyes sits next to him. This is another one of Kate's cats, named His Highness. He looks beautiful, though a little upset, maybe because a certain someone has taken his spot on the throne. Surrounding them is a glorious sea of cats, and we can even spot some family groups. Some are playing, some are staring, some are stalking, some are cuddling, some are relaxing, some are trying to summon the brain cell. Down in the corner, a group of cats appears captivated by a moth, and there's even one holding a... Oh, what's that? It's a list of my channel members. I'm not sure how that got there, but seems like a good opportunity to thank you all so much. Now, back to the kitties. The whole feline crew pose on silk-draped steps, looking poised and pampered. Compositionally, the painting feels a lot like a Renaissance tableau that usually depict religious or mythological figures. It's kind of like Raphael's The School of Athens, but instead of Plato and Aristotle, it's Sultan and His Highness. The scattering of the cats creates a sense of organized chaos, guiding our eyes across the canvas. It's like a series of portraits within a portrait, with each of their personalities on full display. And there's a good reason for that. When the artist behind this meowsterpiece, Carl Kahler, arrived in California from Australia in 1889, he had never painted a cat in his life. Up until this point, Kahler had made a name for himself making human portraits and horse racing scenes in Australia and New Zealand. He was traveling to America to create nature studies in Yosemite, but he had no idea that life was about to throw him a giant fur ball. During a stop in San Francisco, he met Kate Birdsall Johnson, who offered him a life-changing commission to paint a portrait of 42 of her favorite cats, which means, that's right, there were more. Kate Birdsall Johnson was one of California's foremost art patrons. She came into money through her marriage to her second husband, Robert Johnson, who inherited his fortune from his father, a sea captain who sold things like pork, steel and iron to the booming population during the California gold rush. Johnson stayed in a sprawling summer home known as Buena Vista Castle, which was apparently the largest estate north of the Golden Gate. A 40-room mansion where her cats were said to occupy an entire floor attended to by their own fleet of servants. It's said that the artist spent 3 years living at the castle, studying each cat's quirks and personality so he could capture them all in My Wife's Lovers. He's said to have been paid $5,000 for the piece, equivalent to around $180,000 today. It's safe to say Kahler never made it to Yosemite because a different kind of nature was calling him, or should I say, meowing. After Kahler completed the commission, he went on to paint many more cats, and nowadays that's what he's mainly known for, but none ever as grand as My Wife's Lovers. Speaking of the title, it must have been Kate's husband, Robert, who gave the painting its name, right? Wrong, because he died 2 years before the painting was even completed. So it's probably that Kate's late husband used to refer to her many cats as My Wife's Lovers when he was alive, and the name stuck. Because, well, of course it did. The painting made its grand debut at the 1893 Chicago World's Fair, on loan from Kate herself, and it caused quite the stir. But the same year, Kate died. Afterwards, My Wife's Lovers became wrapped in layers of gossip and legend. Rumor has it that Kate owned 350 cats and left $500,000 to them in her will. But according to Dawson Carr, the Janet and Richard Geary curator of European art, in fact, there were never many more animals than those depicted here. Johnson left a modest amount to a relative for their maintenance. Her principal bequest established a hospital for disadvantaged women and children in San Francisco. After Kate's death, the painting was purchased by Ernest Hackett for his Palace of Art salon in San Francisco. But when the devastating 1906 earthquake hit, the salon and nearly 80% of the city were completely destroyed. Miraculously, My Wife's Lovers survived, but the artist who painted it didn't. Carl Kahler died in the earthquake. He was 49 years old. In the 1940s, My Wife's Lovers had a bit of a comeback. A new set of owners took it on a national tour and even presented it at Madison Square Garden during a cat show. Some 9,000 prints of the painting were sold along the way, and in 1949, Cat magazine declared it the world's greatest painting of cats. Fast forward to 2015, when My Wife's Lovers went up for auction at Sotheby's with a starting bid of $300,000. It sold to an anonymous cat lover for $826,000. So this really is the most magnificent cat painting ever made. But beyond the fur and the fanfare, it carries an important lesson for us all. If you're concerned your lover is being unfaithful, take a good hard look in the mirror and ask yourself if the call could actually be coming from inside the house.